I have been wanting to share a recipe with you guys for a while now. Now this is with my Kasori 6-quart pressure cooker. Less time in the kitchen, more time enjoying fresh food, fast food pressure cooker. So this is what it looks like. Again, it's 6-quart. And today we are going to make chili, and it comes with a recipe book. So I'm going to use the page 21 simple southern recipe of southern chili, and then I'm just going to add a little bit of my own variation to it because I do make chili a lot for the family. This is the second time I've made this, and the first time it turned out really good. So this time around I wanted to go ahead and film for you guys. Now I'm not going to copy the recipe as exact like I said, but I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit more about the Kasori premium pressure cooker that I do have. Now if you guys are asking what exactly is a Kasori pressure cooker, it's basically like 7 things in one. It has, you can stew meat in there, poultry, soup, beans and chili, white rice, brown rice, multigrain. You can steam vegetables in here. You can slow cook like a slow cooker, but you can also pressure cook the meat with the stew and the poultry and all that stuff. And then you can cook different kinds of rice, the white rice, the brown rice, or multi-grain. You steam your vegetables, and then you can also make yogurt. Pasta, you can boil or do your pasta boil, steam potatoes, and then you could also use it as your hot pot. Now, this pressure cooker also does like saute. So what I'm going to do, along with bake. So what I'm going to do is just the recipe book. So I've tried out 2 recipes so far, and the chili was one of them. And like I said, even the first one, I did add my own variation. But as you guys can see with this recipe book, here's the beans and chili. So what I usually do when I make my my chili before I had the Kasori is that I would saute the meat along with the onions and then the garlic, and then drain that, and then add on the other ingredients. And once I do that, because the chili to us, we favor the taste of chili when it's been onto the slow cooker for a few hours. So I'll put it into the slow cooker between 4 to 6 hours, and then we can enjoy it as a family meal. But for this particular recipe, it says it's 6 servings, so it's good enough, a large enough size for my family. Prep time is 10 minutes, and then the cook time is only 24 minutes. So that's where the pressure cooker comes into fact, that it takes so much less time if you put it into your pressure cooker compared to if you're cooking it over the stove top and then putting it into your oven or putting it into the crock pot. So let's get started. Alright, so here is my Kasori pressure cooker. So it has the stop, cancel, on and start, delay, start, keep warm, cook time, and then manual, adjust pressure temperature. You can adjust those as well. And then here is the buttons for the meat, the poultry, the soup, and then the beans, all that stuff that I talked about onto the thing. It even has reheat, bake, and such. So the recipe, and then it's really deep. It's 6-quart. So I just wash that, and then inside it, yeah, and it's very, it's like multi-layer, and then it has this really thick material in here, just like if you were cooking it into like the crock pot material. So it has that, the liner, and then it has this on the outside. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in here, okay? And then the recipe calls for about 2 tablespoons of oil, so I'm gonna put in, yeah, I'm just gonna eyeball it. And then it says to put in your ground beef into the pot, okay? All right, so I went ahead and put the lid, and then also added about salt and pepper on top of the meat, and a little bit of the seasoning, and then press the saute button, and then pressed on. So it's doing its magic on that. And then, so I will be checking onto the pressure cooker in about maybe 10-15 minutes, and then once it's lightly brown, I'm going to drain it. Drain the fat liquid in there. I did not do that step last time because when I was going through the recipe, it did not say to drain the fat from the meat, but this time around I'm going to opt to do that. And then I'm going to add in the garlic and then the onions, and then just saute that just for a little bit longer, maybe around 2 more minutes. And then I'm going to add the tomatoes, followed by all the spices, and I put the spices in here already. This spices is just basically my chili seasoning spices, which got like cumin, oregano, salt, and pepper. And then it's got like cayenne pepper in here, and then also like a chili seasoning powder. So I just mix all that in here. And then I'm also going to add on to like a broth. So I just have chicken broth, but I'd rather add chicken broth than just water. But the recipe calls for beef broth, but I make my own chicken broth. And then lastly, I'm going to add the beans. So we'll go ahead and wait for that. And then once it's almost cooked, I do add just a little drizzle of yellow mustard in there towards the end. And this is also the time that you can add your own variation. Sometimes I put red and green bell peppers onto my chili, along with very finely chopped jalapenos. This literally took about 5 minutes. So I wanted to share with you guys what it looks like in 5 minutes. So as you guys can see, it's like already browned. So it cooks really, really fast. I'm just going to go ahead and smash this up like the recipe says. Just basically give it like a crumble to it. And I bought like really good quality meat this time. There's not a lot of fat in there at all. So I'm just going to really see how it's brown. Only been about 9 minutes, and everything in here, like the meat, the onion, is really cooked well. I added the seasoning, and I like to add the seasoning last, just in case I have, not last, but after the meat is just a little bit more brown, just in case I do have to drain the meat, then I'm not dumping out the seasoning that I'm using. But like I said, I don't need to drain the meat. So it's really cooking fast. That's what I loved about this when I was using it. Okay, I'm gonna put in the tomatoes. Okay. Stir that up. I'm also gonna put in about a cup of the broth. And then stir that. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and just cook it. Check back on it in about maybe 2 minutes, because it does cook it really fast. And you don't want to over stir it too much. Just want to make sure that it's perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and put in my beans. So I just have 1 can of kidney beans and 1 can of black beans in here. And then I'm going to drizzle with just a little bit of mustard. So I went ahead and stopped the setting for the saute, and then now I'm going to press the beans and the chili. And that's just 11 minutes. Alright friends, it has cooked. So this is what my chili looks like. And it has only been cooking for about maybe 26 minutes. And it is thoroughly cooked. The most important thing is that when you are using a pressure cooker, is that, as you can tell with the lid, it has the lock and the unlock section. Here is the valve right here. You got to make sure that it's onto the close or the sealed valve when you are doing your pressure cooking, just like I was doing with the chili. And then when there's pressure onto it, this valve right here, the red button or the red valve, actually goes up. And then before you can open the lid, you have to release the pressure, and then a lot of steam will come out, and then it will not allow you to unlock the lid and be able to open it until this valve comes down and the pressure has released. So that is a nice feature of this. Another nice feature of the Kasori pressure cooker is that once it is done, my chili is now ready, but my family is not ready to eat it yet. So You can put on the lid and then put it on warm.